5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Broadcasting worldwide from Paine Studios in Cornwall, this is the Wal of Paine show on Phluid FM.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Wal of Paine here on Phluid Vision and Phluid FM. I'm Leo Bass Driver Paine, alongside the ever-jubilant and never-crepulent Neil Walters.
Hello. I've never heard of the word crepulence. I like that.
It popped up on something earlier today. I was just like, that's a good word I haven't used for a long time.
It's crepulence.
Who is this? What is this crepulence?
What is this? Is there such thing, if you are crepulent, then can you have crepulence?
Yes.
Do you know...
I shall not withstand this crepulence.
This crepulence?
Yes, I'm pretty sure Monty Burns says that at some point in The Simpsons.
I looked up percussion once and thought, is it a verb? And it is, to percuss.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah, I frequently percuss. Yeah.
Repercuss.
That's why I'm not allowed on the buses anymore.
Repercuss. Dawn Lee's in. Hello, Dawn.
Good evening, Dawn.
A little start to the show there for all those people listening, because we often play a lot of female vocalists, and in fact we've got Grace Lightman coming on the show this evening, celebrating their women in other roles in bands. Louise Bartle, of course, drummer for Block Party, opening tune. Yep. Fantastic band, fantastic drummer, and the erstwhile bass player of Pixies, Leo.
Kim Deal.
Brilliant.
You know what was annoying there is because I had her in my mind from earlier when I mentioned it was Juliana Hatfield. She was still stuck in my head. I was like, no, rewind a second. Hold on.
Kim Deal from Pixies. Yeah,
but indeed, Juliana Hatfield being another fantastic example.
But I say erstwhile because I think she had a bit of a falling out with Francis Black and left. Did she not?
I have got the MTV 120 minutes where they were talking about that. Yeah.
Shame, really.
I think. Wasn't it that like she actually left like a year before she actually left? Like she told them, that's it, I'm going. They carried on like a tour or something, and at the end of the year, off she went.
But before you can't get away with anything like that now with all the social media. I mean, before you could probably be on tour with a band and nobody would have known you'd swap the bass player out. Because you didn't know who these people were anyway, did you?
Well,
you never saw them.
Television have just swapped out their drummer, I believe.
No, that'll be a fatal move. I tell you what,
I think hasn't. I'm thinking, didn't they? Because who is that? I've forgotten the name of their original drummer now. Something like Shelley.
Not sure.
But I'm pretty sure he went quite a while ago, and he was replaced by the guy.
Did he go quietly? No, don't take me. You'll never take me alive.
No. I think he was. I think he was hoping for some perseverance. There you go. Right. It's one for all my television fans out there.
It's spring.
It is spring.
Finally.
Spring has kind of finally sprung. I can definitely tell because all my joints are aching like crazy.
My arm's aching like crazy.
Yeah, I get it. Like it's like this weird arthritis every season change. So spring and winter basically the main ones, and like I'll just be crippled for a week. Just like my only regret is I have bonitis.
Well, we're clocks forward.
Yeah.
What are we playing in the background from Siege?
Is it Clocks Forward?
It's called Clocks Forward,
is it? Yeah.
And the clocks do fine because he wrote this new piece of music for the show too. And I said, but the clocks are going back, Chris. And he went, yeah, but it's just the name of the song. So finally, Clocks Forward signifies Clocks Forward. So don't forget, guys, this coming Sunday.
This isn't Blue Flame.
This is Clocks Forward.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting mixed up now. So
yeah, he writes. He's prolific.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, so we get an extra hour at the end of the day.
Is that this weekend?
That's this weekend, Sunday the 26th. So we technically we lose an hour, don't we? Because this is how I always remember it. Is that I know this is an Americanism, but the
spring
clocks
forward and fall back.
There you go. Yeah. They spring forward and they fall back. They do indeed.
Yeah.
And some other good news that's happened in spring, and I've just made a note of this because I don't know whether they mentioned it, but our good friends at the Good Brewery have brought Skinner's, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
Brought Skinner's Brewery, so that's all that hopefully. I was talking to one of the chaps in the Goods Out the other day, and we were both agreed that they still need...
Goods Out?
They've missed a trick there, honestly. They have goods in, and they have goods out, but they haven't spelt it with an H, and the first thing I said to them is, you should have put an H on that. Yeah. And it was like, but he's hoping they're going to keep it as a separate identity, not try and absorb it as Goods Betty Stoggs and Goods Knocker. It'll still have its identity as Skinners.
Good knockers.
Yeah. Well, we were trying to get hold of a nice pair of knockers and we couldn't.
Yeah. So maybe now we could actually get a pair of good knockers at least.
Absolutely.
Could we get a pair of Betty Stoggs good knockers? Guys, we should get on there. We should be in the boardroom right now, like just suggesting these on a whiteboard.
You'll like this. We're going to play a tune. So,
I do like tunes, actually. They're pretty good. It's sort of an integral part of what we do here.
You'll like this one. Talking about spring. This came out last week.
Yeah.
One of my favourite bands. Do you like Therapy?
Yeah, man.
Not going to it. I mean, listening to it.
Yeah, no. Like, isn't that just like one of the classic album cover posters? It's on like every wall of some angsty teenager in like a mid to late 90s. Like teenage angst film.
Therapy, yeah, gotta be.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I got into them when they brought their first EP out, and it was Screamager, and that's the kind of triangular, angsty kind of face, which they've gone back to for the cover of their last album. They've gone back to that. But if you don't like Therapy, apologies. They're one of my favourite bands, and
tough.
they just put this single out. And tough. Yeah. We do, and we're gonna play it.
Yeah, just hum something in your head for a minute, like put fingers in your ears and have a little hum to something while we enjoy a bit of Therapy.
But this is a great tune. This is. Here we go.
Fantastic.
Hey, this is Siege 22-7. When I'm not outrageously promoting my second album, I like to kick back and listen to Phluid FM.
He does indeed.
He does indeed, yeah.
I love that. So. Therapy. Can't beat Therapy.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm in therapy at the moment for my arm. Physiotherapy,
yeah,
to be fair.
Yeah.
And I had acupuncture yesterday, and I tell you what, my arm doesn't half hurt today because they get all those points, and then the next day you feel like you've got toothache in your entire arm, and then the day after you feel like, that's fantastic, all my ailments and woes have gone away. And then a week later they creep back. This is how they make the money, isn't it?
Yeah.
A week later they creep back in and they go, remember, you've got an appointment next week. Oh good, I could do with that because my arm's really hurting.
So much of what I find this with so much today is that like any product or service, like on a large scale, let's say, not all but so many of them, it's just like, why would they provide this service if you weren't ever going to come back?
I know. Cheeky
gone
devils,
are the days of
aren't they?
engineering, for example, of like, let's make sure that this lasts for 200, like we're saying with your house, you know.
Oh, I know.
It's like a few 100 years old, still going, absolutely no problem at all. But the previous house I was in West London with the built by the YBOs, like literally would fall down in a mild wind.
I know they over-engineer things these days. James was in last week. I was talking to him earlier. James 7. He sent me a thing the other day. I just thought I'd read this out. This is interesting. Right, so he lives in Peterborough.
Okay, yeah.
And he sent me the top 10 worst places in the UK to live.
Oh, right.
And he sent me,
cool.
Yay!
I bet Feltham's in there somewhere.
Peterborough's number 2. It's the second worst place to live in the UK. So James, if you're listening, he said he's going to drop in later. And also just brought me, talking of Siege and his clocks forward, the second best place to live in the UK is Worcestershire, which of course is where Siege lives.
Yeah,
up in Worcestershire, so that's the second. And Cornwall and Devon don't even feature in the top 10.
Joy. That's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, just maybe they're disregarded. Oh no, you're not really part of the UK. Again, it's like what you're saying.
We're not, I mean, we're a duchy, aren't we?
Well,
so we're not even a county.
It's not even that. Like, there's some historical aspect here where there's no point at which Cornwall was actually officially integrated into Great Britain or the United Kingdom. There is no legitimate duchy here. So,
well, they were going to enter into the World Cup. Do you remember that?
What, Cornwall?
Cornwall said they could actually, as their own little country, they could enter into the World Cup, and the rules and regulations allowed them to do that. Which is quite interesting.
That would be great because, like, they haven't got the millions and millions of pounds that the
you'd have to play with Cornish players.
So, yeah, exactly, and they'd actually be good. You know, it'd actually be worth watching. They'd have a very good chance of winning.
Well, they'd beat England, wouldn't they?
Easily.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Might be straight through the qualifiers and face Argentina. Could you imagine watching? I mean, I don't do football, but I'd watch the World Cup if it was like Cornwall versus Brazil.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
How brilliant
cool.
would that be?
I mean, the thing is, if that did happen as well, is how many people around the world would see the Cornish flag and automatically think, oh, pirates!
Aye.
The pirates have invaded. The Americans would love that, wouldn't they? There'd be merchandising galore on that, mate.
Do you know why pirates are pirates?
Because if they weren't, then they would have jobs and wives and families.
No, just because they are. I'm talking about different places to go. I had a conversation with my son Elliot earlier, which just made me laugh. Because for his birthday, which was in January, we bought in some tickets to go for a roast up at the Hare and Hounds in Ottery, St Mary, which we went and met him just before Christmas and had a roast. And it's a really nice roast. I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll buy some vouchers. So I phoned the pub up, got the vouchers, got it sorted. And I was speaking to him today. I said, I never asked how you got on with your meal vouchers. And he was typing, and he said, funny story attached to that, which is typically me. And then a voice message comes in, which I wondered whether we should just play the voice message. But basically what he'd done is that him and his partner Heather went out for Valentine's Day for this meal. And they were up in Bristol, I think it was. And he said, right, when we get back. So he said, I made all the preparations. I phoned up the Hare and Hounds and I booked the table. It's a table for 2, Valentine's Day, 7:30, da-da-da-da-da. They live just down the hill. Went up on the night, walked in. Table for 2 for Elliot? And he said, no, we haven't got a booking for Elliot. Yeah, you have. Table for 2 for Elliot and Heather for tonight? No. Yeah, I've redeemed some vouchers and we've got drinks. I went, no, we haven't got that. You definitely have, because I phoned up and long story short, what he'd done is, because he was in Bristol, Google had put the Hare and Hounds in Bath. So he said somewhere along the line there's a waiter waiting for me and Heather to turn up in Bath. But fortunately the Hare and Hounds, fair play to them, in Ottery St Mary, sorted them out, and they sat down. They had their meal. But isn't that
lovely?
brilliant? But I just feel like it's closing time up in Bath, and the waiter's like, no, we are waiting for Elliot and Heather. Who have I don't know why he'd be French. Why would he be French in a carvery?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, there are other types of
other carveries are available.
Yeah, other carveries. Yeah, like there's Le Cavre, for example, and Monsieur Tobé.
Oh yeah. Monsieur Tubby.
Yeah, and Le Grand Boeffeta, Boeuf Manger, Boeuf Manger.
Manger de Boeuf. That would be the
Grand Boeuf Manger.
But I'll tell you what, you go to Beefeater, it sounds a bit like, you're going to the Beefeater. Sounds a bit low market. You say, we dined out the other day at Manger le Boeuf, and you go, oh, that does sound nice. Is that a French restaurant?
Yeah, exactly.
Anything in French sounds better. I'm going to slap you in the face if you put that into French. Probably just sounds like oh, really? Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah. Le Roy Hamburger.
Hey! What would McDonald's be? That'd be the same. They could say
Royale with cheese.
Oh, hey, but instead of I'm loving it, that translates in French even nicer to Je tout ce que j'aime.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, yeah.
We should do a show in French one evening. Mind you, we might alienate our viewers if they don't know French, but never mind.
They probably know better than us.
Never mind that. We're not here to talk about France. We're here to talk about Grace Lightman. We're going to play a vid, are we not?
I think we will give it a go. We will have a little go at playing a vid from Grace Lightman.
And then she's going to be on.
She will be on any minute now, indeed. Yes, the room is open. So we will play this vid. We'll come back for a very brief, quick chat, go to another tune.
Get her hooked up.
So in the meantime, we will cross our fingers and hope that this works every time.
It does work though, doesn't it? It always
does.
works.
It usually does. Yeah. So here we go. Let's have a bit of Grace Lightman with a nice video.
And it's sweet enough. I never say people, they don't change, they just become something they can't remember. Oh, people, they don't change, they just become something.
Hi, this is Tony Black, and when I'm not busy writing a great novel or busting out hitting the six face, and yeah, can you just put it down there, please? Down there. No, not. Step away and just I'll sort it. God, you cannot get the stuff. Anyway, when I'm not busy being amazing, I like to listen to was it Fresh Radio? Fluid FM. Keep up the good work, boys.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, I feel sorry for room service, man.
Oh, I know. Hey, James is in. Hi, mate. You might have just missed it unless you weren't listening. I've just done that thing where you told me that Peterborough is the second worst place on the planet to live. Not on the planet. That's a bit disingenuous. In the UK to live, isn't it? Well, actually, it might be the
depends
planet.
Where you're polling, I would imagine.
Yeah. So Peterborough, the second worst place in the UK to live. Looks all right. He sends me photos of when he's been out and about on his bike and cycling. Looks all right to me. Yeah. I can think of a lot worse places to live.
Yeah. But, I can definitely.
But I won't mention them on air in case we're looking for sponsorship.
Yeah. Mind you, like the places I'm thinking of, you wouldn't be looking for sponsorship. Well, not unless like you're running with the Colombians.
No.
And the Sicilians.
Well, there you are.
That Mexicans.
That was Grace Lightman, who is
that was
Leo's
repair.
And you're going to try and zoom.
Yeah, we shall get her up in a minute as we when doing our next tune.
Well, whilst we're looking at that, I was looking earlier at some facts about spring, because this is our first spring show, right?
Yep.
And there's a lot of people that always say spring starts at the 1st of March and spring is March. And I'm always one of those people that says, no, the seasons go with the equinox. Officially on the internet today, spring begins on the vernal equinox. The word vernal literally in Latin means spring, and that is the 20th of March. So Yabu sucks to those people that say, oh no, it's all about the first of the month. It's not, it's about equinoxes. Because it's equilibrium, isn't it? There's equal amounts of daylight and night light on the equinoxes. The same with the autumnal equinox. Now, here's another great fact about spring, people. I feel like we're doing Spring Watch. The Great Sphinx, so that not great as in he's great. What a fab Sphinx. There's not multiple Sphinxes, it's just that it's great as in its size.
Not a great Sphinx as in the rear end of Britain's Greatest Man. Sorry, Strongest Man.
No.
Not that sort of Sphinx.
Not that sort of Sphinx. Was an equinoctial marker, which means that it's gazing east and the Sphinx targets the exact position of the vernal equinox. And I have 3 more amazing spring facts, people, for later in the show. I don't want to read them all out now. And
when my Sphinx reaches that position is when I'm mooning someone out the window.
Everybody face their Sphinx to the vernal equinox.
Yeah. I've been watching too much Futurama this week. God bless the good lady driver bought me the box set, so I've been watching a lot of that. My humour has somewhat degraded in the last few days. Fantastic.
I went out and had a madras, and my Sphinx was facing the vernal equinox. But
But it is interesting because I like there's one of the things with like time and the passage of time and
the passage of a madras.
Exactly, and the quantification of such. Like we run on like these 12-hour, 24-hour sort of systems, and like some people even think about metric time. I mean, you can buy binary watches and metric and such, but none of that is really right. Like, I mean, the seasons do shift, the planets shift. Like, we're out by such a long way from like if you ran a calendar by the sway and ebb and flow of like solar and lunar patterns and star patterns and stuff like that, we wouldn't have like a consistent.
Well, we
year
only
at
have
any
time,
point.
like you say, because we bracket it, because March technically was the first month, hence October was the 8th, November was the 9th, and December was the 10th. January and February obviously added later. But that's the reason, isn't it, that we have a leap year, because every year we're so many seconds and minutes out on a year that every 4 years we have to add a day in.
Yeah.
Otherwise it doesn't work for the Roman calendar.
Yeah, exactly. And like I was reading something the other day about how in France,
I don't know why do I know so much about the Roman calendar?
France, like long time like ago, they actually had a different name for every day of the week. Like persistently, you'd never have 2 names, 2 days of the week named the
bloody
same
French.
ever. It just
We were
consistently
championing
go
the
on.
French earlier, but that's a stupid idea.
Yeah, well,
Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi,
This is
vendredi,
probably
samedi, dimanche.
this was probably shortly before they started beheading their leaders as a like public service, you know.
Well, there you go. Now, we're going to play another tune before Grace comes on.
Yes, so we can get Grace
This
sorted.
is another fantastic band. If you haven't heard this band, I suggest you go out and have a look at them. They're called Ardyn, Ardyn. Little story behind this band as well. Katie, who's the singer for Ardyn, I might have told this story before, but when Andy and I were playing, Andy Quick, playing up in Stroud at the King's Head, the Prince Albert, sorry, Katie was the bar girl. And she said, "Oh, I've got a band with my."
That's a pair of names to get mixed up.
Yeah.
The King's Head and the Prince Albert.
It was the Prince. It was the.
I'd be worried going into a tattoo and piercing parlour and mixing them up, mate. I'm looking for.
It was
Prince
the royal.
Albert
It was the
on
royal
my
Prince
left arm.
Albert's head, and she was working behind the bar. She was the girl that was serving all the drinks, and she said, "Oh, I've got a band. We're together with my brother, and we're called Ardyn."
Excellent.
And so I bought their first EP, and when I checked on this one, because I listen to them quite regularly, they're now up to about 150,000 monthly listeners, and they've got millions and millions of streams.
Excellent. Well,
Great.
Yeah, that'll be what, £5 in their pocket by the end of the year.
Oh,
Then,
well, absolutely. I mean,
they're going, mate.
she'll pull herself a pint and won't have to pay for it. So here we go, called Together
Fantastic. And fingers crossed if
to
this
the
works.
big screen.
Yeah, we are going to welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, you haven't. He wants to get his applause now. There we go. Yeah. Can't go without the applause.
No, can't go without the applause. Mind you, they're a rowdy bunch, aren't they, in this place?
Yeah.
There we go. Let's get rid of those applause. We are joined by Grace Lightman, everybody. How are you doing, Grace?
I am good. How are you guys?
Excellent. Well, we're good now because we can hear you, so that's fantastic. That makes all the difference,
Good.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm glad.
With all the pristine timing in the world, the fallback monitor just decided to fail as we were chatting there.
Yeah. As a musician yourself, though, Grace, I mean, you know these things. You can plan and plan and plan, and just as you're about to do the thing you want to do, you get a gremlin.
Yeah, which is basically everyone's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Just blame the engineer.
Especially live.
Just blame the engineer, because as I can testify to right this minute, it's my fault. So
Yeah. Yes, the fully qualified engineer over here. But so absolutely fantastic to have you on. Now, we seem to be having a little bit of a trend with people that we've got on, because we were talking to our good friend Andy Quick, who I believe you were playing a gig with a few weeks ago. And Andy just WhatsApped me and he said, you need to get this girl in your life. And I think that's what I sent you. Andy's word is gospel, so let's speak to Grace. But
Great, thanks, Andy.
Yeah, he had nothing but good to say about you, and we've obviously been checking you out and listening to you and whatever, and it is absolutely fantastic. And I love your Q&A, Grace, that came back, that you found your diary entry.
Oh, yeah. That's a pretty special moment.
For everybody who hasn't, a shame on them, but for everybody who hasn't bought their copy of the Cornish Times and read our article, what did that diary entry say, Grace?
It was quite an early entry from when I was like 10 years old, I think. And it says, "Dear Diary, I've decided that I got a new profession, or a new career.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a songwriter." And then I wrote a song in the diary. That's really my first song.
And there you go, and you can still remember how it goes. But how good is that? Though you write in your diary at 10, I'm going to be a songwriter, and then you grow up and you're a songwriter. So that's brilliant, isn't it?
10-year-old me had a lot of foresight.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How did your school career advisor take it? Because when I said that to mine, they were like, well, realistically, why don't you be a journalist?
Well, I think all I remember is that I wrote the first actual entry in the whole of the diary is that my teacher at the time, Mr. Gallant, had advised that we all start diaries. So I don't think I told anyone what was in it because it was very secret, very personal.
Yeah.
So you guys should be honoured.
Yeah.
And anyone that is reading the Cornish Times.
Well, I was going to say we've just exposed that to 13,000 readers, so
It's all right. I've got nothing to hide now, but yeah, I think at the time it was like, it was very close to my heart, and I felt like my teacher at the time, he didn't even know, but he did know that I've probably told him that I got a diary as per his instruction.
As well, I was going to say then he can't say, and also then you're going to need a proper job.
Yeah.
And this is back in London though, Grace, obviously, because you say you've only been down in Plymouth for the last 3 years.
Yeah, I think it's coming up to 4 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. What year is it? Yeah.
Well, it's hard to tell at the moment. Honestly, the time just flies so quick, and that period of lockdown just kind of like it almost feels like it's still 2021 or something.
I know, it's weird. It feels like I've only just moved to Plymouth because I moved about 6 months before we went into lockdown. So
that's a bit similar to you, isn't it? Moving just before the lockdown.
Funnily enough, Damien, my good friend, he moved to Plymouth where is he? He's just past Hoe Park. And he moved a couple of days before we did on the train, and we moved down with the day lockdown started. So for all of us, it's just like, oh, great, brilliant, like that's the perfect time. And my removal company pulled out as well, so I had to hire a van and go back and pick all my stuff up myself.
Oh no!
But that was a totally weird period now, because you're right when you talk about time now, and you kind of add 2 years on to everything, don't you?
Yeah, it's like, we're like well into the 2020s now.
I know, it's scary.
Almost halfway through, really.
It's scary because we were just doing a few spring facts earlier, because obviously we're going into spring now, which is lovely, and that's the time when all the live music. I mean, January and February for live musicians. For people that play and for people that want to go and see, it's a bit of a fallow time, isn't it? But I think now we're going to get the nights coming out, and all the musicians come out, and you can sort of.
I mean, we're due it, aren't we? Don't you think? I mean, I was saying this to Neil the other day. I think we are due a bit of a resurgence, almost like a renaissance in entertainment, arts, music, film. I was looking back at like 1995 the other day, and like Speed came out that year. Blown Away came out that year. Clear and Present Danger came out that year. I mean, there's just such a list of amazing films just like in 1 year.
Yeah.
Great music as well. The music awards that year were absolutely crammed with so many different artists and different genres. And I was looking around today and thinking, I think it's about time we had a bit of a resurgence with that, and that could be what we're seing.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah. The 90s was good. But talking of that resurgence, we were just watching one of your videos, and who were you cited Goldfrapp.
Yeah, like the video evokes the imagery and the sound of Goldfrapp, and also I thought a little bit of Moloko. Do you remember Moloko?
Oh yeah, I love a bit of Rasheen Murphy.
Yes, Rasheen's fantastic. Yeah.
Who shot your videos, or shoots, I should say, if it's a continual process for you with the same people? Who does your videos?
So basically, I do most of it.
Okay.
Like I'm the only consistent person throughout, but I used to make them a lot with my brother,
right.
My older brother Alex Lightman, and he and I kind of had a music video production team called Siblings, which makes sense.
Okay.
We are siblings, and yeah, we used to make it. Kind of that was born out of us making my videos, but I moved to Plymouth. He lives in like somewhere in Peterborough sort of area, so we can't really do that anymore with each other, but I feel like there's scope to do that again. But which video did you watch before?
It was what's the title of the one we've just put up? It's completely.
Is it Aztec Level?
No, sorry, it was is it with Repeat?
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, Repair.
Sorry. God,
Because because it reminded me, not necessarily the music or anything, but the styling of it was very Kylie, I thought, as well. That
all big influences. Yeah,
when Kylie
I shot that with my brother, but we were living in London at the time, and we actually came down to Maker in Millbrook, Cornwall, and shot it there with a friend called Don Moore, who's a photographer, and he lives around here as well. He lives in Millbrook, but he was living in Plymouth. And we shot that. He was the director of photography, and my brother was like doing sort of acting director with me, even though I was in the video. And I got some dancers who live in Plymouth as well. So it was like kind of all of the things that I make have a bit of the Southwest in, even before I moved here.
Yeah, that's brilliant, because also I was going to say you were talking about your songwriting as it progresses through is kind of just like songwriting of your mind and of your thoughts. So as you go through phases, you write also about the different phases, which is also, something that you need to do. Otherwise you could quite easily stagnate if you just do the same thing over and over again. So that's also quite interesting, that your sort of thoughts just pour out and you're like, I'll write about this. Now I'm into this kind of music, because you said you went through that kind of disco-y, indie disco phase as well with the Strokes and sort of bands like that, and then that influences your writing. So kind of what you're listening to at the time influences what you actually start writing at that time as well.
Yeah, and I think like whatever I'm listening to at the time is usually something that I've gotten really obsessed with when I was younger. And like just combining a few of those things is kind of, because I'm a bit of a creature of habit with music. I'll go back and listen to stuff that I've heard many times over, and just like revisit that feeling of how I felt when I first heard it.
It's comfort as well, isn't it? You get your comfort albums. Sometimes you're struggling to what to put on, and you have, most people I speak to, they've got their go-to albums, and it is that comfort album. But I think I think sound and smell are the two things they say that just draw you back to a time and place, aren't they?
Yeah, totally.
Now we meant to ask you, and I forgot to email you, some of your influential songs that you like and listen to and influenced you as you're growing up, because I will hotfoot it now to Spotify, and as if like magic, we will get one up and play it, and you can introduce it and tell us why.
Oh, great. Okay, so I'm thinking off the top of my head.
That's good enough. That's good enough for us.
Great, that's good. I basically, one of my biggest influences is Radiohead.
Okay,
excellent.
Apologies to people that don't like Radiohead, but you're going to have to listen to Radiohead because they're the best band.
I would say that Radiohead's one of those bands that any of us that maybe of a certain age, like if you were alive and held a guitar at any point during that period, you would have learned at least a couple of Radiohead tunes. OK Computer definitely had a couple of real... Paranoid Android, that's one of my favourites, is Paranoid Android, because that's the one that every band at that age wanted to play. But boy, is that one of those complex tunes that no teenager's going to nail that one, are they?
Exactly.
What do you want to play, Grace? What's your favourite
Which Radiohead song? I'm just having a look and seeing myself which ones.
Because they're also a great band for, like, because this is one of the things, when I first started writing music, one of the most popular tunes in the band that I was playing in, called Ben's People, it was a tune called Outside. And it was, I've just seen that Creep is at the top of your list there. Yeah. And the funny thing about it is, it's basically a rip-off of both the chorus of Creep, but played like twice speed. And is it... forgotten the name of the other tune. Yeah, another Radiohead tune as well. Like basically for the verse, and no one noticed. Everyone's just like, "Yay, that's brilliant." That's what I was like, all right. As long as you take two bits that people don't quite recognise, it's like the KLF method. You know, just take two tunes and if people recognise it enough but can't place it, and just jam it together.
Mix them together.
Number one.
I love that. I feel like it's quite similar to Repair. Like it's definitely a big influence, which you'll hear. But Everything in Its Right Place is probably the best
That's the
One
song
of the best
song,
songs.
is it?
Just one of the best songs. Everything in its
in
right
its right
place.
place. Okay, I am going to just quickly look
that
at this.
in,
You
that's
know,
brilliant.
we moved to.
It's the
Sprite.
first song off of Kid A.
Yeah.
Just
We're quick and efficient. I've got it already, Grace. We're
Yeah.
there.
Cool.
So we'll play this, and we'll go off.
What was the instance that you heard this in? Because this is one of the things. It's very easy to say what is a tune that influenced you, but like, what is it? Was there something instantial at the time? Was there something that you'd been through at the time, or was it just like you heard it and you just thought this was brilliant?
I feel like I didn't like actively try and like be influenced by this particular song. But I think listening to Radiohead, I used to come to on holidays to Cornwall when I was a kid, and I remember my brother like getting me really into Radiohead at the time, and I really associate like going to the southwest with listening to Radiohead. And then now that I've moved to the southwest, I'm like, my life is Radiohead. But when I was writing Repair and like the songs off of that album Silver Eater, I think I really felt I didn't try and like get Radiohead to influence what I was doing, but I think everything that I was writing, that feeling, that moment where I'm like, oh yeah, that's really good, that moment of like self-validation, it was always in the bits that probably are massively inspired by Radiohead. So I think it just osmosis kind of made it come into what I was doing. I don't think I'm by any means at the standard that they're at though. Like I really put them up high, so
Production can do a lot for a band, trust me.
Yeah. It's one of those things though, it's not a bad thing. I mean, I think everybody, if you play in a band or you play any kind of instrument, I think you're obviously going to be influenced by your heroes. We had young Joe Chown on last week. We were zooming with Joe Chown and his guitar hero, and he said he was basically, when he started, he was a tribute act
to Frank Turner.
To Frank
I
Turner.
can see it was on the tip of your tongue there.
And we were kind of like, well, there's worse things that you could be as a tribute act to Frank Turner, but he's then gone out and done his own thing, but he said he does still hear like that he's got that Frank Turner influence, and that's no bad thing, is it?
Yeah.
It's
like it's what you do with your influences, isn't it? It's like
well, just send Tom York an email and say, look, I'm massively influenced by you. When you next get out on tour and you're looking for a support act, just know that I'm your number one fan.
I'll just email Tom York. That's easy to do.
stranger things have happened, haven't there? Really, honestly, no, I say that with like some actual seriousness. I've emailed people randomly and been very surprised to actually get responses from them. You never know.
I've heard stories of Tom York coming down and being in Cornwall. I think it's Camelford or Tintagel. There's a pub up there, and he was in the pub at the time, and somebody recognised him and handed him a guitar, and he did a little set.
No way.
Yeah.
That is dream.
So there you go. So he's very accessible, Grace. Just email him and say next time you're in Tintagel.
And
next time you speak to me, we'll be thick as thieves.
Either that, or next week we'll get a phone call from his lawyer saying we've been instructed to tell you to stop telling people to call Tom. He's getting tired of you doing
York.
this. Yeah,
Mr. York. Right.
Rob Halford's on the line as well. He'd like to have a word too.
Right, let's have Everything in the Right Place by Radiohead, and then we'll come back. Right, we are back. Talk about that as a cliffhanger. We're just telling a racy off-air story, and there wasn't enough Radiohead to cover the punchline. What are the chances? Because that's a really long song.
It's our skate park story all over again. Sorry, Grace, but we started a story about a skate park incident in episode 1, and we're now at episode 38, and we still haven't actually finished it.
That's great. That's a story that really gives the longer that you tell it.
Yeah. And I tell you what, we always have the best chats when we're off air, because we were just talking for the people who are tuned in.
It says a lot about our on-air performance, I guess.
No, but do you know what I mean when you sort of just drill down? And you were just saying about and I said, we're running this on a shoestring. It's not Radio 1. And so, Grace, you said, can I swear then? And we said, yes.
Absolutely.
But you were just saying you got pulled up on your BBC interview for swearing. And
yeah, I said the S word, and then I was like, I said something like, I couldn't think of a word, so I was just like, oh shit, and then I went, shit. And then and then like Sarah Gosling, who was interviewing me, was kind of like, was just like laughing, but with like anxiety. She was like, oh god, oh, please stop. And we were both just freaking out. But it's fine. I've been on since, so it's all good.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's
Not been
easily
blacklisted.
forgiven. Yeah.
That's radio, because you've been on Radio Cornwall and you've been on Radio Devon, and you've also been on the BBC Southwest introducing as well, haven't you? So
Yeah.
the BBC is your friend, so they're not going to kick you off for saying shit, are they? So
Well, who knows?
Yeah,
'Cause
well, I mean, like, I
have they
had,
had you back since? That's
yeah, I mean, I had a
they have had me back since.
oh, you're
so
fine then.
I
You're
had
as
good
long
to
as
go.
I don't make any political statements, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh well, see now there you go. That's where you will get into trouble.
Yeah.
Trust me. I have a family member. I will not mention their name because there's enough people who want to torch them already on the internet. But yeah, they were on the Julia Derbyshire show. Yeah, she ain't going back on there ever. I doubt they'll ever. Well, unless they want someone as someone to have an example of like, don't do this, people.
Yeah.
Like she got herself in big trouble.
But
Yeah.
it is funny, isn't it? Because you can probably get away with a lot of things, but people, I mean, I think people don't like, far left or far right political views in people. They just like people that are toeing the party line, should we say, don't they? I mean,
think people just don't like an opinionated person.
no, and in equal measure, sometimes. I mean, I was saying to Leo the other day, wasn't I? When you'll be asked a question, and people also as well, Grace, they probably expect you to have an opinion. And in some instances, I always think it's all right, actually, if you don't know enough about subjects, it's all right, actually, and fair not to have an opinion. I mean, a lot of people will ask me questions, and say, I don't really have an opinion on that one way or the other.
Yeah. And I think, now social media is such a massive part of life. Like, I think there's a lot of pressure on people to, have a sort of a status and opinion on when big stuff happens. But sometimes you just got to like let yourself work out how you feel about things. And that might take you a really long time. So
and then you can change your opinion, which technically would be known as a U-turn, and people don't seem to like that either. But surely the point of a discussion, or in some instances like an argument, is to make somebody change their mind, isn't it? Otherwise there's no
or just to be open-minded to new ideas, and trying to think non-emotionally about them.
That's a difficulty in this day and age for a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that is one thing as well. Like with music, how do you feel this may affect music? Because I see, for example, do you think someone like Bob Dylan would fly in today's mainstream industry? Like top 10 sort of material.
I mean, are we talking his old stuff? Or
Exactly. Like, I mean, I'm talking about like politically activated or activist music. That actually does take a stance on things.
Yeah,
I'm sure it could exist, but as long as it's the right thing, if you get what I mean.
I think there's a really good comparison to draw between a couple of bands that I really like. One is Petrol Girls, if you've heard of them.
Yeah.
Punk band.
Yeah.
And the other is Idols. Also,
I like Idols.
Idols they're both brilliant bands. I really like them both, and I feel like there's a distinct, you taking gender aside from the fact that Idols are really, really successful and Petrol Girls aren't necessarily in the mainstream. Taking gender aside, like if you just ignore that part of it, then people always go like, oh, why aren't Petrol Girls as famous as Idols? Why aren't they they're doing the same kind of music? They could be as famous as Idols. They've been around for even longer, all this stuff. And I really believe that the reason that they're not famous and in the mainstream is because they're not subscribing to that industry of music. They're not trying to make a living from music. They're trying to send out a message. So I think Idols are doing both. Like, they're sending a message, but there is an element of work to it. It's just it's their careers. And I think someone like Bob Dylan back in the day, he was preaching to the folk scene. That's like not really people who have careers, and the music industry was so different then. It was like you can actually be a musician and make a living. And it wasn't such a gold dust thing to actually be a musician who makes a living. You don't have to sell out as much to make. I'm not saying Idols was sold out at all, but
I mean, I think
I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean with
I was
that.
going to follow up there with what you're touching on there. It's like one of the things that like my family have always highlighted with me is I often get offers, or I've had contract offers, or I get to a certain point and they're like, dude, this would be it for you. You'd be set for life. Why didn't you do that? And my point has always been
integrity.
Integrity. In fact, I'm trying to remember. I was watching someone way back in the 90s on MTV again, talking about this really big band before they were famous and how they'd had offers and they said no, because do you ever find like there's opportunities and they're just asking you to do something that you just think that I can't do that's just giving a bit too much of me away, or that goes against my principles or whatever, and there's so many opportunities that do seem to be, they have that sort of Damocles attached to it. It's like you have to do something.
Oh, you have to do what they want you to do, because do you
find that?
It becomes transactional, doesn't it? So if someone's like you paying towards your, like if you've got a record deal, someone's paying, they're invested in it. So like in order for them to feel like they're getting their investment worth, then you need to comply to an extent to what they are investing in. But if you're not, and you come out of the industry part of it and you reject record deals and things like that, then you can put out whatever message you want, and you're not, it's like you have more control. So I feel like because I'm a big Bob Dylan fan as well, and I often think about stuff like that, like if he or Radiohead, like if they were to release music now, it would be like new artists now, they wouldn't stand a chance now. They just wouldn't.
Very much like
so
very much like one of my favourite bands, The Cure. I mean, some of their intros are epically long, and people now on Spotify, if they haven't hooked you within 30 seconds, they're on to the next track, and The Cure wouldn't survive if they were starting now. Incidentally, talking about all music, Dawn Lee in the chat room, Grace, says, I'd like to hear more of your music, Grace. Here's a chance for you to plug your tour. Where are you next playing? And also, we can solve that problem, because after we finish talking to you, you can pick your favourite song that you've written, and if it's on Spotify, we'll play it, and Dawn can hear some more music straight away of yours.
Great, thanks, Dawn. You can see me playing.
Get your gig guide out, Grace. Where you play?
What's that?
I said, get your gig guide out. You're looking for where you play.
I'm literally like, my brain is like, can I remember dates? No, I can't. I am playing at the Millennium Building in Plymouth. If you have heard of it, it's a historic old warehouse club. They're reopening it.
Okay.
Which is quite a big deal. They're reopening it. It was a 400 capacity venue at the stage it is at. It could be even more than that though.
Whereabouts in Plymouth is that then, Grace? I've not heard of the Millennium.
It's on Union Street. It's
just up
right by the big Toys R Us kind of area.
Okay,
They're doing a series of awakening gigs to sort of like show people that the venue is starting to open up again. It's rough and ready. There's pigeons living in the ceiling.
Perfect.
Okay.
It's going to be like kind of squat vibes. So if you're into that, there's going to be cushions to sit on the floor.
Cool.
There's like a kind of amphitheatre style thing.
It's
really, really cool. Tickets are like £10, I think.
And you're there what date?
On the 14th of April.
Okay.
I believe.
Well, don't worry. After we're done here, send over all your gig dates and we'll put it in the gig guide.
We'll put it in the gig guide anyway,
And then we'll all be able to refer to that in the coming weeks.
14th of April.
Right.
So that's what, 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super prepared for that, as you can tell.
And then after that, are you...
After that, I'm doing a gig. I'm supporting an artist called Kate Ferguson at a venue called The House in Plymouth. I'm actually going to look up the date for this because I've definitely got it wrong before.
And I'm going to try and think. I know
that's
Kate
on the
Ferguson
28th That's on 28th of April.
28th of April, okay.
Yeah.
You sound a little bit like me because I play just in a local covers band, and I normally realise when and where I'm playing when Leo and I are putting the gig guide together, and I'm typing I'm playing next week, and that's what reminds me is.
I'm not very good at keeping track of time, so...
No, it infuriates our bass player because he's like, I've told you when we're playing. Why do you not know these dates?
Particularly those occasions when he's typing, he goes, I'm supposed to be playing right now up in Carrington, dolt.
Oops. Yeah, that's often my fear, is that I'm supposed to be somewhere that I'm not.
So do you fit in the Andy Quick modus operandi where, like, as Neil was pointing out, every single gig with Andy, about like 45 minutes early, he's on the phone, have you got a support act? Can you come down and help us out? And then, what's the set list? Quick, just give me a map and I'll just write it on the back. Like,
I've played with Andy a couple of times, like when he's done acoustic sets and I've played percussion with him. I'm like, so what are we playing? And Leo's writing, he goes, that's a good question. And he'll tear sheet out of his map book, starts writing down a quick set list and goes, we'll play them. So
wow.
So you jump on.
I'm definitely much more like neurotic than that. I'm like, when I know that I've got the gig, I have to remind myself constantly every day that I've got the gig, and then because I forget what the dates are, and then I get to the gig quite early and I don't leave the venue. I'm like, I when people like go out for a meal before they play, I'm like, I can't do that because I've just got no concept of time. So if I were to leave, I might never come back.
And then somebody says, Grace Lightman's playing down at the such and such, and you're like, right, I should have been there.
Exactly. And my set list, like I do quite a lot of stuff with electronic and like kind of combining backing tracks, so I really need to have that sorted in advance.
It sounds like you're in my sort of camp. I tend to try and get down as early as I possibly can, and I'm neurotically setting everything up, and I check everything about 40 times. So it's definitely working, but let me just make sure again, and then I do something that breaks it.
There's nothing wrong with that though. If you're saying you're playing at these awakenings and it's £10 a ticket and you've got 400 people there, people are paid to come and see. At the end of the day, you've got to be professional, haven't you? Because people are paid to come and see you, and that's what they expect. So there's nothing wrong with double checking it. I mean, I'm absolutely paranoid. I have drum dampening rings that sit in a drum skin box, and it says do not bend on them, and it's the one thing that makes the drum toms sound like they sound, and I am absolutely paranoid about those. And even when I know I've packed them, I'm phoning Giles, our singer, going, that box is in the van, isn't it? That box is in the van, isn't it? That box with those rings, is it? And that's my paranoid thing. Dawn Lee's just said, oh wow, okay, here we go. Amazing to hear you're a busy bee, Grace. We'll have to see if I can make it on the 14th. Would love to hear what you do. There you go.
There you go.
Yay!
So, before we sign off and we disappear, Grace, and do you want to choose then one of your tunes, and we'll play that, and then Dawn can instantly, and so can everybody else, hear more of what you do.
Yeah, of course. I have to make sure that you haven't played it already.
I love the cover on that album as well with the vampire thing, because we had Lady Noir on the other way, didn't we? And Hannah has the whole fang thing
This is
as
where
well.
I went down the rabbit hole, Grace. You have a very chameleonic quality to you, yeah? Because if you Google search Grace Lightman and you look through your photos and you check some of your videos, and I spoke to Neil, and the first one I came across was this vampire photo, as we had just done Lady Noir's interview that week, and she had the same similar style with the vamp thing going on. I was like, whoa, hold on a second, I'm getting disassociation here.
Is there two Grace Lightmans?
Yeah, then I was like, hold on a second, like, you look so different.
It feels that way.
Yeah, but you do look so different from each. I mean, you really do seem to embody whatever it is you're doing in that particular video, like style-wise. It's not just the music, it's your appearance. Like, I did have to phone Neil several times to say, you sure I've definitely got the right person here?
I said it definitely is. There's only one.
There's only one. Yeah, I definitely I like to sort of change it up with each phase. There you go. That's the word, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Pick us a song then, Grace. Let's have a play out with something funky.
So I'm gonna go for Deliver Me from Even Caring, which is the title of my latest EP, which I brought out last year.
Deliver Me from Even Caring.
And that's the main single of that EP.
So you're on track 3, the actual title track.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
that's
eponymous
brilliant.
track.
I have got that queued up. See?
Where can people find out more about you online? Plug all your socials and everything for us.
It is like so nice and easy because no one's got my name, so all you need to do on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, which I don't use very much, is type in Grace Lightman and you will find everything. Same with Spotify and all of the music streaming channels. Same with YouTube. Just Grace Lightman, and there I am.
I've got a good question.
Although you
for
might be
Grace.
confused and think I'm a different person.
Yeah.
How are you on TikTok?
I'm not.
No, I know.
Or as you'll notice in the article, the misprint,
Yeah.
Tok.
Oh, they haven't put Tok, have they? In the Cornish Times, you can't get the staff.
I chuckled a little bit.
Tok.
Tok, yeah.
Actually, it might as well be Tok because I don't know how TikTok.
It seemed to make
I've
that
had
sentence
it,
mean
like-
better.
I've opened it I've downloaded it twice, and I've had it for 24 hours each time, and I've just been like overwhelmed and felt old.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I tried it, I opened it up and my eyes glazed over, and I looked over and noticed there was a melon ball on the table that would actually do really well in my left eye socket right at that moment. So I got, I cracked on with that.
I only downloaded the app because somebody sent me something and it said you need to view this in the app. So, and then
That's how they get you.
And then but then I think it was one of my daughters. Like, and they said, "Why, Dad? Why have you got TikTok?" And I'm like, I felt all defensive. I was like, "I haven't got TikTok." I've just...
It's like
I wonder if Bob Dylan's got TikTok.
Oh,
well, undoubtedly he will do, but again, it will be his team, won't it? Like, I mean, how many times?
I actually don't think even his team would have it.
Oh, good.
Because
No.
I think because he's not on like social media, really, is he?
it's the
haven't
fastest
really
thing
seen
though.
them much,
TikTok.
yeah.
It's the fastest now growing social media, and that's why everybody puts out stuff on TikTok. But I
But
don't
then
know.
it keeps going faster with every generation. So what's going to be like? Just
Well-
going to be like implants into our brains
Yes.
of social media
you
content.
say that. I used to work in. I did an engineering degree, and I was at UWE. And strangely, my son was actually watching a video that went into the robotics AI that I was working on, the Dove and Hawk programs. And you say that, but Professor Coven Warwick of Reading University, he's done exactly that. He and his wife have implants where they can telepathically like feel each other's emotions and all this crazy crap.
He had that one years ago, didn't he? Implanted in his forearm, so that when he walked into his house, he was one of the very first people that the lights would come on and say, "Hello, Kevin," when he walked into his house.
Yeah.
That's creepy, isn't it?
Honestly, deliciously insane. Honestly, like he actually also developed the early AI that's in use today. Like ChatGPT, an awful lot of like people are talking about that right now. A lot of the AI that seeded that came from Kevin Warwick's work and our work at UWE's robotics labs.
You'll have holographic you and your brother, you'll be doing holographic videos. So that one, like for repair, you'll be in the middle of the room and people will be able to walk round and watch you dancing.
I mean, have you seen the ABBA Voyage tour?
Well, I haven't, but
That is something super creepy right
The
there.
avatars,
like, something
they call
puts
them.
me
But
right
like
off of that.
that's my. I really want to go to that, and I'd love to be the support act at that. It's like my dream gig.
Ah, cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that could be an idea for a video. Why not try and do like a hologram video?
Yeah.
In fact, here's an idea. Look into Hatsune Miku. I used to work for Sega, and they have a character called Hatsune Miku, who's a virtual singer, a Vocaloid, and they started doing gigs with her where they have a see-through screen that is semi-opaque, and they can project her as a hologram at like 30 foot on a stage. Pretty
Whoa.
cool stuff.
30-foot Grace
Oh,
Lightman.
that sounds like that Black Mirror episode of Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yes. That's a great series, isn't it? On that bombshell, Grace. Anyway,
No, thank you so much for joining us.
we will
could talk
diversify.
all night.
And as we say to all of our guests that come on, we could talk forever. Please come back and see us another time, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, I'd love to.
And we'll try and get down to Plymouth on the 14th.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
We're bumping the dawn.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Fantastic.
And we're going to play out, Grace, on Deliver Me from Even Caring, which you said is your latest EP.
Great.
Thank you very much for
Awesome.
joining us,
Thank you
Grace
very
Lightman,
much.
everybody.
Thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah, we'll catch you in a little bit. Here we go.
Toodle.
The closer I get to promotion, the closer I get to handing my notice. Close your eyes,
That is Grace Lightman, latest EP, Deliver Me from Even Caring. What a lovely guest.
Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant.
What a lovely girl. She's full of the joys of spring.
Yep, and fantastic music as well. Like, and
all different as well.
Yeah, well, certainly you can hear the influence of Repair with Radiohead in there, but very diverse. She moves and progresses, and again, that was what threw me off a little bit. It's like, wow, she's so diverse, and so chameleonic.
I like that word as well. You're full of it tonight.
Well, it's like I used to like Alec Guinness in the way that he could be in different films and look completely different in everything that he was in.
Do you want some more facts about spring before we do a quiz?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I've got some more here.
I'm in a spring mood.
Yeah, I feel springy. Has spring?
Man's about to get sprung.
Spring has sprung, and then we'll have a quiz, which of course Andrea has done the quiz and says,
"We're balling. It's sprung.
I'm going to get 10 out of 10." In spring, peeps, the Earth's axis is tilted towards the sun, causing longer and warmer days. Of course, fact number 5. In the southern hemisphere, where our daughter Gemma lives, our spring is their autumn, because of course they're tilted the other way. And the last little spring fact I've got, in spring, baby birds learn to sing, because spring is the time when all the animals have their babies, and they learn to sing when they hear their species sing. So when the adult birds are singing, the baby birds learn their own species song through mimicking, very much it says on the fact-finding thing, like humans. So
how does any of that work for flat earthers? I mean, the tilt towards the sun.
We're more like a frisbee. So you tilt like a frisbee, and that means that people on the equator must be spinning around at a heck of a rate of knots. And
if you're on the outer edges, you're like a risk of just flying off into space infinitely.
When I was younger,
no, because you'll hit the furniture, wouldn't you? You'll hit the diamonds and come back down.
Well, you would, but when I was younger, and I wonder if a lot of people were like this. I used to think that Australians I couldn't get my head around.
Walked upside down.
Walked upside down.
Yeah,
I think that's a popular thesis. So if you're on the Flat Earth Society, which still exists, people...
Well, look, you got to think about that, though. They do.
Well, they do.
I mean, this is an interesting point.
But they don't, do they?
They do. Because if we're a sphere, right, and we're up on, say, the most northernmost part, say one of us stands on the North Pole and one of us stands on the South Pole, perceptually to each other, one of us is upside down, which is a bit like and actually physically one of us is upside down because the gravity is pulling us in the opposite directions, I guess. Although I mean there's some questions over gravity as well. I was talking to Mini Driver yesterday about sort of gravity, and he's like, but hold on a second, if it's such a strong force that it can keep us on the planet, how come we can jump? So there's a few things with gravity that don't make a whole bunch of sense.
It's bedtime.
No, I actually started discussing the Higgs field and how the Higgs field affects
and then he said it's
waveforms. Yeah, exactly. He's like, well, I'm off. I've had it. Good night.
Now, Andrea's written us a quiz, and this is brilliant. And I've written to myself a little footnote on here, Candy Floss, because she's put quiz but missed the I out. But she's put an E on. And in the results, it says the results, and she's missed the L out. But now that to me looks deliberately...
Is this going to be, Neil, how do you spell your name? Well, multiple choice.
This is what I'm hoping now. We
finally got it.
Bingo quiz that we've been looking for.
Yeah.
But you see where she's put an E on the end? The reason I've written Candy Floss is because me and my mate Squancy, years ago, we went to... I hope he always listens again to the show, actually, because then he always WhatsApps me and he goes, thanks for the shout out. So, hi, Paul, Joey, Matt, Alex. He knows what I'm going to say with the E on the end. I can almost hear him sniggering now. And we went to the Stratford Mop, which for anybody that doesn't know, the Mop, it's like the fair. We used to call it the Mop. And it's basically run by a load of pikeys, isn't it? You know, So they got Candy Floss on a stick, but they'd spelt stick S-T-I-K. Then one of them had clearly taken a step back, looked at it and thought, that doesn't look quite right. So they put an E on the
Stike.
And exactly that. And me and Paul were like, Candy Floss on a stike. They realised they'd misspelled it, but they still couldn't work out why.
You know what? But in today's world, right, that would become the vernacular. Can I ask you a question? Yeah, like
asks you a
question.
Yeah.
Like, but then Futurama again is kind of responsible for that partly because they kept perpetuating that. But yeah.
But yeah, candy floss on a stike, and I just thought that when I looked
bro,
at
you
Andrea's
want to roll
cries,
down the fair and get ourselves a couple of stikes? Yeah,
couple
man.
of stikes, yeah. Let's get some stikes.
Actually, that's sounding
man.
dangerously close to roll down to somewhere else and get a couple of stikes.
Get a couple of
Holland. Let's roll to Holland and get us a couple of stikes.
Would they? I was going to say, yeah, but would they be not great big pieces of beef in Birmingham? Let's get down the butchers and get some stikes.
Yeah, a couple of stikes.
Oh, what a colourful quiz!
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Shall I read the quiz, or do you want to read the quiz?
You go. I think I've done it a couple of weeks now, haven't I?
I don't know. I'm quite happy to do it. You get yourself a pen and paper.
Yeah.
Where's your? There you
Allow
go,
me to acquire the studio clipboard.
Have you noticed I got a new clipboard?
Oh, check it out. No expense spent, bro.
No,
Right,
it
what's
wasn't
this? Flint
expense
and
spent.
He actually nicked it from Flint and
from
Stone.
work. No, I nicked it from work, and I nicked this one from my old work as well. we fund this ourselves.
Yeah, but to be fair, like if it's a stationery cupboard at work, is it really? It's not really nicking anything.
No, it's just begging to be taken.
Certainly in a couple of places I worked at last that had stationery cupboards.
Do you know I said this is the quiz we've been
yes,
waiting?
Yes, it is. This is exactly what it's going to be, isn't it?
The quiz I've been waiting for. Andrea's literally the quiz you've been waiting for is written across the top.
Well, I guess
Harry fucking Potter.
You a wob wizard, Harry.
Oh,
it isn't the Harry Potter quiz, is it? Andrea, please no.
Oh, well, it's also a bit of general knowledge or a bit of just like knowledge, right?
Balls.
Okay, so here we go for all those Harry Potter and general knowledge fans mixed together. Your Harry knowledge quiz.
You're a wob wizard, Harry.
A what?
Wob wizard.
The first part is nothing to do with Harry Potter. In which part of your body would you find the cruciate ligament? I can only think of the Cruciatus curse in Harry Potter. The cruciate ligament. I'm going to put that. What do you think?
I should know this, but because I
shouldn't.
I've definitely referred to it before in
right.
Bloody module for midwifery.
Right, module for midwifery.
Yeah, long story.
Question number 2.
Oh,
what is Cho Chang's Patronus? Oh, what is Cho Chang's Patronus? Oh, it's not an otter. That's Hermione. Harry's is a stag. Snape's is a doe. Dumbledore's is a phoenix.
I have an answer. I'm debating whether I want to go with that.
What is Cho Chang's Patronus? That's the only one I don't know. Cho Chang. She's the seeker on the Ravenclaw team.
Cho Chang's Patronus. It would be
Francus Turnerus. For the Ravenclaw team.
It would be Francus Turnerus. You would cast that spell and Frank Turner would appear and scream at you.
Question number 3.
I'm going to go with...
it's got to be an animal of some sort. From which US city do the band The Killers originate?
Damn it. I'm going to get this wrong. I'm just going to go right ahead and get that one wrong.
Number 4. What was Lupin's code name on the radio Potter Watch? I know that one because he's called Remus Lupin, and his code name was that. You don't know this, do you? Because you're not a Harry Potter fan. No. Question number 5. In what year did Tony Blair become British Prime Minister? And we have got a multiple choice. So it's 97, 98, or 99.
Yep.
I'm going to go for that. Right, question number 6.
I remember that because I told you the other day I hassled him when he came down to Brentford to do his little speechy thing, and I submitted a fake question. I did a Daria for Daria fans out there. I submitted a fake question. They said, yeah, that's fine. And then when they went, this boy over here, I totally changed the question and made him look right. Idiot.
I'll tell you what as well, Andrea's Harry Potter question, she's picked some difficult ones, because which teacher does Nagini eat is question 6. Now Nagini is Voldemort's big snake, and she eats I know that the thing that she teaches, so that's what I put down. You won't know it. You got to. Yeah. Okay, question 7. What element is donated by the chemical symbol N on the periodic table? Question number 8. In which year was the movie Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone released? Question is multiple choice. So it's 2000, 2001 or 2002. Aconite and monkshood are also known by what other name?
Aconite and monkshood.
Yeah. And question number 10. Which popular video game franchise was released games with the subtitles World at War and Black Ops? That's...
I know this one very well because I had a bloody 80-foot advert
Okay.
outside our freaking head office.
Good. I like them questions.
No, that wasn't good. The day that Bayonetta released, having an 80-foot advert for our biggest competitor on a bloody building right outside our head office. No, that was not good.
No, that wasn't good. I mean, the quiz was good.
I went in that day and said, "Where's the CEO? Get the CEO down there. I don't care what it costs. Get that off of there."
Do you think you've done well in the quiz?
No. I've done pretty badly. What was number 9 again?
Number 9 was what is aconite and monkswood.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, I'm going to play a tune now by a singer called Karuk. And when I was chatting with Elliot earlier and he was telling me about booking his meal in Bath in the wrong city for his meal, he said, he sent me a link and he said, I've just heard the saddest song ever. And it's by Karuk.
Oh, lovely.
And while we think about the...
So yeah, I've heard the saddest song. It's depressed the hell out of me and now I want to do the same to you. Enjoy, baby.
It's called...
Lovely guy.
The Dog. So it's sad, but it's also happy sad, isn't it?
Lovely
I
tune.
like that. Isn't that sweet?
That is nice.
The Dog by Karuk, if you want to look that up on Spotify. I like that.
Very good.
Look at the envelope for the answers.
Nice. Hold up. Wait. Hold up.
Got to get a tilt on it because it's too bright, isn't it? On mine. There you go. 6 out of 10. 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Fuck knows. Right. So what do you think you've got? Good 5 out of 10.
Well, whether it's a good 5 out of 10 is debatable. I have something. I've probably got at least one.
Right. The only thing I can't know, and I'm going to kick myself in a minute, is Cho Chang's Patronus.
I think I've got that one.
Right, here we go. I'm excited. I like... Hey, right. So, everybody out there in Radioland and us in here, in which part of your body, Leo, would you find the cruciate ligament? Oh, of course it is.
I'm going to have got this wrong as well. But I was saying like sort of in the back, right in between the shoulder blades.
And I put leg and then I changed it to neck and it's knee. It's
knee,
the ligaments behind. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Right.
Just to point to anyone, if you need serious medical attention, I'm not the guy who comes
No,
up.
absolutely. Nor am I.
No matter how many people at hospitals say to me, "Oh, are you a medical student, or have you got like qualification?" No, I don't. I just sound like I know what I'm talking about.
You know those mini, you know, a bandsaw that constantly goes. That we had one at work the other day that we were delivering, right, and it's a mini bench bandsaw, quite a serious piece of kit, and it was going to the surgery.
Oh boy!
And we were all like, I hope not for any medical procedures.
Well, probably, yeah, that's probably for amputation, right?
Right.
Do you know how hard it is to get through a leg by hand? Have you ever tried to cut a leg off by hand? Trust me, man. Especially if it's blunt, man. That could take you a good 4 to 6 hours, man.
Yeah.
So
Cho Chang's bloody Patronus is a swan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
I won't tell you what I put.
I put Badger, and I know that's not right because that's the logo of Hufflepuff, and she's a Ravenclaw.
No.
Right, where are the killers from?
I said Boston.
I said Vegas. It's Vegas.
There you go.
Because have you not seen them? They dress up like... he's got that big glittery suit like Elvis.
Yeah,
killers.
but Monster Magnet did that as well and filmed.
Maybe they're
filmed
from
in Vegas. No, they're not.
They're from Birmingham.
No, where are they from?
Probably Alabama.
I have a feeling maybe from somewhere like California or Nevada, but yeah, somewhere in the area.
Question number 4. What was Lupin's code name on the radio show Potter Watch?
Nut Smuggler.
No, it was Romulus. Because his name's Remus Lupin, so Romulus and Remus is the old biblical story. So that's, I got that right.
And
what did you say it was called?
Nut Smuggler. Daisy Bird, this is not Smuggler. Daisy Bird, this is not Smuggler. The birds have flown the coop.
Right, Blair. 97, 98 or 99?
97, man.
Oh, it was. I put 98.
Yeah,
You got that one.
Yeah, definitely got that one.
Right,
Yeah.
number 6. Which teacher does Nagini eat?
Cedric Cumplehorn.
No, but Cedric Diggory was in the...
There's actually a character called Cedric in there.
Diggory, and there is a fictional animal called a crumplehorn snorkel that Luna Lovegood believes in, but it doesn't exist.
You know why I put that as well? It's because of the Crumplehorn Inn, part of the
Crumplehorn
Kerno Pub
Snorker.
group. Check it out. It's a
It was
fantastic
Charity
place.
Burbage, which I've got, but also for a bonus point, she was the Muggle Studies teacher.
Ah, Muggle Studies.
I'm sounding really smug about getting all my Harry Potter questions right.
Yeah, man, you know that children's book from
I've
20
listened
years
to
ago
it,
so
yeah.
well, man.
What element is denoted by the chemical symbol SN?
Selenium.
Oh, it's tin.
Oh, tin. Oh, well.
I put silver.
Again, like if you're looking for someone for your periodic tables, yeah, chemical compounds.
I don't know
I'm
anything
not,
about
I'm not your
Right,
guy.
Philosopher's Stone, the film, 2000, 2001 or 2002?
2001.
I put 2000 and it was 2001.
There you go.
So you get that one.
I kind of know that one for several reasons, like between my sister booking the book in the first place to be released, also my housemates were fucking going nuts about it when I went to university.
Good.
And also my good friend Ewan worked on the video games for EA, so...
Now, Aconite and Monkshood are also known by what?
I said St. John's Wort, but it definitely isn't.
No, it's a Severus Snape's potion. It's Wolfsbane.
Oh,
I got
well,
that one.
Unfortunately, I disappointed him.
I got that one.
I
But
did not change to page 149. I much
Yes.
disappointed him.
That classic, people will think you're up to something. Brilliant, I love that.
And you're
question,
John Wayne.
question number 10. Which popular video game franchise was released with the subtitles World at War and Black Ops?
The Thrall of Duty franchise.
Oh, cool. I put Modern Warfare.
Well, that is one of them.
Oh, so Call of Duty is the overarching thing. I
Yes.
thought Modern Warfare was the whole thing.
No, Modern Warfare is a subcategory of
Call of
sub-franchise.
Duty.
Call of Duty Black
Oh.
Ops, and Modern Warfare is indeed the one that was advertised on the day of Bayonetta's launch, right outside our bloody head
Oh,
office
so
windows.
Call of Duty is the overarching thing.
Yes,
oh,
it
I
is.
thought Modern
Yes, it
Warfare
is.
was. But I was in the right ballpark.
Yeah.
How many did you get, Leo?
1, 2, 3. I got 3.
I got 4.
Excellent.
Out of
That's
10.
better than usual. Right
That's
there.
better than normal. It's double what I normally get. Thank you, Andrea. That was a good quiz. I enjoyed that. I just don't know anything about the political bits and pieces and the bloody Patronus.
Yeah, man. It wasn't a Chinese dragon.
We
that's
haven't had a
shame.
tipple.
Yeah, it's still time. Still 20 minutes left.
Should we have a quick tipple?
I think it's probably time for Tipple of the Week. And this week I've actually washed the glasses. Well, no, actually, hold on. That's an absolutely filthy, outrageous lie. I have not washed the glasses. The good lady driver washed the glasses for us yesterday, going, "You're going to need these this
You
week."
don't wash your own glasses. So there you go. So we've got tipple of the week. That was a great quiz. I like that. 4 out of 10. I'm
good
happy
one.
with that.
Yeah. So, like I say, better than our usual performance.
We've got anything's better than our usual performance.
Yeah,
We've
well,
got
this
an
is-
award-winning strong ale.
We have got an award-winning strong ale, and this is one you can't fear.
It's also got a European double gold award winner last
Jesus,
year.
like, I love how that one just went to tumbleweed right there.
What?
Well, you can't fear this one.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Don't fear the Reaper. Hey, we should play that while we drink it.
Yeah, I think so.
Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah.
You read the tasting notes.
So, yeah. So
I'll
what-
Google Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, what we have here is from the Celtic Brewery, the Grim Reaper, which is an award-winning strong ale, as I say, from Celtic Brewery. In fact, wasn't it the Celtic Singers that were featured in this week's Cornish Times, as they have just done a re-recording of Relay for Life song with the Plymouth Male Voice Choir, who you may remember we actually recorded and broadcasted last year as part of the Lisgard show, did we not?
You did.
I say we.
I'd
well,
already
we-
been sacked for trying to promote local businesses and local music.
Didn't stop you turning up though, and really
No,
appreciated the support. Someone has to.
Yeah.
So there's a link there with the Celtic.
Yeah, that was the
thing.
Lisgard Radio. That's the community radio show that sacked me for
Yeah.
supporting the community, wasn't it?
So what we've got here is it's a European Double Gold Award winner 2022. And actually, there is history with this. I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago to you when we were looking at Tipples, because when the good lady driver and I came down here to actually look at houses to move, when we were staying in the wonderful Premier Inn up by Liscard Tavern, which is a fine place to stay, I was like, I'll just pop down to Morrison's and grab something to drink, got a couple of these. Well, I got this and a plum porter, and oh my god, I slept well that night. I slept very, very well. So this is a strong yet deceptively smooth dark amber ale with complex notes of dark fruits and roasted grains.
Love the picture. Look at the grim
So I'm
Reaper
going into my Sylvester McCoy Doctor Who there. Roasted grains, infinite supplies of rice pudding. It comes in at an alcoholic weight of 6%.
Oh, it does.
It does indeed, which is, that's not bad. That's all right. That's okay. It's not going to blow your brains out, but yeah, not too many of them, I'd imagine. And at Celtic Cornish Brewery, they brew their beers by hand with care and craftsmanship using the finest hop flowers, British malts, and hand-pitched yeast.
We'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, brewed right here in Druth, isn't it?
It is brewed in Druth, and I'll tell you why I picked these up.
Druth, mate.
So we're not, you've got Aldi, Lidl, you've got Morrison's, you've got all your Tesco's and whatever, but do you know what? Supporting local beers and whatever, good old Co-op.
Yeah,
because the Co-op are fair trade, they're a cracking supermarket. And I tell you
we
what,
love our Co-op here.
It's known as being a little bit on the expensive side, but their food and their drinks are good, and you can get some bargains in there.
Yeah, especially that dude that got done in the courts for his 5-finger discount rampage.
Yes.
Prouty was highlighting last night. Shouty to Prouty, Wednesday 7 till 9. Prout's night out. He was talking about that. Like, this guy, I read it myself. It was hilarious going through the list. He literally robbed Co-op, I think 6 times in a week. It's incredible he managed to get away with it. And it wasn't, it was a selection of things as well. Like 1 minute it's £1.59's worth of Twix multi-packs, and then £75 worth of wine and stuff.
Unbelievable,
like
isn't it? But they are a great shop, the Co-op. It's lucky that
could do
we've
with some
got a Co-op.
security though. Actually all of our shops could probably B&M as well. You could probably do. Number of times I've gone to get bloody batteries. We use the portable battery power banks for lights and that.
Yeah, and somebody's twocked them.
I'm just going through. It's like, what the heck? Like, all these empty boxes.
Twocked them. Do you know what twock's an acronym of?
Taken without consent.
It is, but not a lot of people would know that.
Not a lot of
Why
people
do we
know
both know that?
Well, it was like I said to you the other day, when I was a kid, mate, I used to be able to go into the newsagents for £5. I'd come out with 10 Benson Hedges, 3 cans of Coke, a couple of ice creams, and some Dolly mixtures. But these days, CCTV everywhere, man.
Yeah. I was going to say, and £5.
yeah, exactly. Right,
here we go, kill seeds.
Let's pop open the Grim Reaper. We'll kill seeds, we'll pop this open. And we shall find out if this is surging funds and stock like nothing in the stock market today.
Or if it's a bit like the River Styx.
Yeah, collapsing under its own weight like SVB. It's something topical for you. Okay, here we go. Oh my god, it's barely even an SVB. It's like a sad whimper. It's the sad whimper of Virgin Galactic laying off a bunch of people because SVB bank
I'm going to give mine a wobble and
you can give it a little wobble and do it, yeah. Ooh, that's a bit better. That's got a little bit of
Look at that. Right, let's get you need a glass.
Yes, and we will be indeed drinking these in our fantastic JJ's glasses. Shout outs to JJ. Thank you very much for these. Finally using them. And do stay tuned to what's on at JJ's. We got Flexi Friday in tomorrow night. Flexi is back. And we've got Ashley Hardy popping back again for the end of the month for a little reprise.
I promised him that I'd go down and play the cajon with him, but I think my neck is still playing up far too much to be sitting on a cajon and reaching down and slapping that bad boy.
As you'll know, Neil, that I've been furiously working away on next month's hashtag winning weekends promotional materials, and we got a lot going on at JJ's next month. We got 7 weeks worth of, or 7 events even over 7 weeks in a month. 7 events over the weeks of the month.
There was 7 weeks in a month. I might have time to do something.
Yeah. So we're same here. Like, so time's just running away. But there will be some promos going out for that in the next week or so. But yeah, rest assured, we've got plenty of awesome stuff coming up in April. We've got Illumination back. We've got Robbie Sinclair at the beginning of the month. And it looks like I might even be popping down.
Bass Driver Sessions.
Yeah, more on that later. So let's have a little nose on this. Okay, it's quite a flat sort of smell, but slightly Newcastle brown ale sort of.
It's got some body.
So yeah, it's definitely got body. Quite a deep malt.
It is very malty.
Yeah, very deep malt. Like I say, you take.
But we normally do pale ales and stuff. This is a bit of a
for
change,
an amber
isn't it?
ale, that is really quite an interesting deep flavour. It is like taking sort of the overtone of Newcastle brown ale, but making it a full board deep flavour.
Yuki Brown.
Much like an awful lot of the ales that you just get as a standard on tap way back in the day, you know, when you used to go in, you'd have cask, and it would taste like this. It would taste good, you know.
It's full-bodied.
Yeah, definitely.
You wouldn't want too many of them, then. Like you say, it's a 6%.
Well, like I say, we've
beer,
had this, and I think it was the St. Peter's Plum Porter.
Oh, St. Peter's, yeah.
Yeah,
nice
the two of them together. Oh my god! Like I was out for the count.
I've had the Plum Porter in St. Peter's. The bottle's like an old medicine bottle, isn't it? The St. Peter's.
Don't try their alcohol-free stuff. Not worth it.
Oh, excuse me.
It's pretty dire. Yeah, that is definitely something.
Full-bodied.
Yeah, you'd probably want. I'd say this would go well with a carvery. Or some sort of like.
Do you know what though? For me, anything goes well with a carvery. Do you know what goes well with a carvery?
Mixed grill.
Another carvery.
Yeah, exactly. Mixed grill, man. Yeah.
They've got a couple though down there. The Co-op. They've got another one from the Celtic Brewery. They've got like more of a session beer.
Got, like a whole range of it. There's like 4 or 5 different ones.
And they've got their little some flags of St. Piran, you know, supporting local. I know Morrison's have got their supporting local as well, but they consider Devon local. So.
Well, I mean, it kind of is.
Going in there
it kind
again.
of is.
So let's have a bit of the Blue Oyster Cult. This is one of those tunes for me. I mean, I might piss a lot of people off, but it's a great intro. A bit like Derek and the Dominoes with Layla, and a bit like David Bowie with Rebel Rebel. And then you're like, and you're like, yes. But after a few minutes, you're like, But let's give it a go because it's a good tune.
Conditioning by Howard Jones, I would say that has a similar sort.
But hey, it's a great tune.
Yeah, fantastic.
And it goes with the beer. So here you go.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
just finished for everybody. If they see us laughing off air, I've just finished the story that we were talking about with Grace when she was on.
We still haven't finished the skate park story.
So I must message Grace the punchline.
Yes, I was
to
just
that
saying, make sure you do actually message that punchline to her.
It's great, isn't it?
She's left her hanging in anticipation.
I did. I did, didn't I? But yeah, I've got a direct messenger for a skit, so I'll tell her the punchline as well.
Excellent.
She'll like that.
Yeah.
Right. Okie dokie, but that's almost the end of another show.
Yeah, we've got about 5 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, I've got our play out tune queued up, so we know what we're doing there, which is cool.
Yes, and I mean, honestly, like, time flies so quickly. I can't believe we're at 38 shows here. Like, think of that, 76 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted to spend 76 hours of your life in our company, then you know what? You could actually do that right now. You could get on over to our on-demand section at fm.fluidrecords.co.uk
Why wouldn't you want to do that?
and vision.fluidrecords.co.uk, where you can catch all of these 38 previous episodes, including this one of Wal Of Paine. You can also catch all of Prout's Night Out. He's up to 37 now as well.
He's great, Prouty, isn't he?
Yeah,
he does a good show.
I'm like it as well because, like, with our little gaps, like, we've slowly closed that gap now, so we're now both like 37, 38, 37, 38, 38, 39, you know. So that's eventually going on quite nicely. Obviously, again, we've got Flexi Friday tomorrow night. I'm going to hopefully be down there. We'll be streaming that. From I think it's starting at 7 tomorrow.
Okay.
Down at JJ's
Mr.
Bar
Flex.
Liscard. Yep, do get down there. It's always a fantastic night when Flexi's down there. Like, lots of great fun. Always put your pump in, playing fantastic tunes. Yeah, like, we've got quite a lot coming up. Like I say, we've got a lot of events on the way.
We've got next week. We've got Black Tar Roses are joining us in the studio, aren't they?
Yes, they are indeed, and we'll have a write-up for them in the Cornish Times as well.
Next week, yeah.
Yep, and I mean, God, like, it's actually getting quite busy. We've got a few other events on the way up too, as well, haven't we? Spreading our wings, so to speak.
We are. We've got quite a few coming up, haven't we? But we'll release them. We'll do a slow release because Please release me.
Isn't that what Glitter just got sent back in for?
I know. But the listeners can't take all of our
No, that's what they were trying. They were trying a slow release with Gary Kiss, and he ended up back in.
And we've got Scott Weller, hopefully, who's going to join us on the show, the pasty man with
indeed.
Scott's Hot Meat.
Indeed. I'm actually super looking forward to wrapping my lips around Scott's Hot Meat, man. You know.
You might need a tipple of the week after you've had Scott's Hot Meat.
Yeah, well,
but
we'll definitely need
milk.
some sort of dairy, like something creamy to ingest afterwards. You know. I mean, I've done the chili wing challenge at the Red Dog Saloon. So,
I think this is going to be nothing. Scott's saying, ladies and gentlemen, in Listenerland, this is Andrea's friend, actually, Scott, let's call him Scott the Pastor.
And also Sean and Johnny's
from the Scribes.
Yes, indeed. He also did their music videos. Yep.
But he professes to do, and I was speaking to him the other day.
We need to double check this. Has he got Guinness in for this yet?
The Guinness?
World Records. Has he got them in to verify this?
I don't know.
If not, why not? Let's get that sorted out. We could do that on air. We could even maybe do that on air at a certain event on the way up.
But he's just ordered his chilies to make the sauce, and his mix for Scott's Hot Meat has.
You mean to tell me there is a recipe for his hot meat? Wow.
There's loads of people can't wait to get their lips around Scott's Hot Meat.
That in?
Well, I don't know.
I bet Aunt Bessie's after that.
She's not Aunt Bessie anymore. She's just Bessie.
Yeah, Bessie. Sorry, yeah.
There's 5 Carolina Reapers, there's 5 Ghost chilies, and there's 5 Scorpion chilies. And Scott says the world's hottest hot sauce, all mixed up. I hope there is some sausage meat, and it's not just literally.
Sounds like it.
Like
to be honest,
a flaky pastry full of the world's hottest peppers.
If Dude was smart on this one, there wouldn't be any sausage meat. It'd just be the actual chili matter.
Yeah.
And just shred it and put that in there and compact it together. No one's surviving that.
But we're going to do that, and hopefully Scott's going to be at one of our events as well, isn't it? And we're looking forward to having him on the show.
Yes, very much.
Lawrence is coming on the show. Your good friend who's the lighting engineer.
Yes, indeed. Yes, we'll hopefully have him or someone related.
Yeah, someone representing.
Yes, exactly. He will be coming in soon.
Black Tar Roses next week.
Yeah, also the Willow Trio coming up April 6th as well. I mean, it's just jam-packed schedule, isn't it?
It is. We've got Rosa Hoadley coming back on because she's just released her second album. So all these things are...
Yeah, and also like we've got some things going into Demelza's gallery soon as well.
Oh, a new launch of limited edition artist impression mugs.
Exactly. Stop art theft, part of our campaign to help stop art theft. And also
Jules's idea.
Yes, and also just to remind people as well that Hannah has just been gigging with Lady Noir this past weekend.
Yeah.
Fantastic to see her out and gigging. Did a brilliant performance. You can catch some video of that up on their Facebook at Lady Noir Jazz.
Yeah.
And you can check out ours as well because we are following them because obviously we've got our Let's Help Hannah campaign, which obviously we've done a weekend of, but we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
We're going to keep going. We know you people can do even better than that.
And from every event that we have at JJ's, we're providing glow sticks, and you've got to donate and put in that. We've got a pint glass behind the bar.
Yep.
And even if you just fancy going in and putting £1 in the pint glass, just apropos, Leo, of nothing, we want to fill that pint glass.
Yep.
And then we're going to empty it, and then we want to fill it again.
Yeah. Yeah, and
we're going to keep refilling it to the end of the year.
We're going to empty that into Hannah's Just Giving fund for the Pink Ribbon Foundation. We're going to keep going. We're going to actually run Let's Help Hannah weekends. Yeah, as much as we can every weekend. We're down at JJ's, and please do come along, support it. And we may also have something else to tie that into a little bit later as well. But we will. Yeah, there's so many of these things that we can only just hint at the moment. But there's a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Yeah.
Do you know what we're going to end with as well? Have you ever heard of a band called the Yaoundé Boxing Club?
No. I actually have to, I'll be honest, I've not heard of the Yaoundé Boxing Club.
I've found a band that you've not heard of.
Yeah. It happens. It does happen.
That's got to be a first.
There's plenty of bands I've never heard of.
This is a banging tune. I've got nothing more to say apart from good night, everybody, and thank you to Grace.
Yep.
Thank you to everybody for listening and tuning in, and good night wherever you are.
Yep. And for me, just lastly to say, please do feed the head of algorithm. Don't forget to feed him by liking, sharing, following, subscribing, commenting. You can find us on all socials: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. YouTube and Mixcloud. All of our shows are up
And
there.
definitely not TikTok.
We're definitely not on TikTok. No, especially as it's getting banned now anyway. So
And we're seeing Scarlett
again,
on Wednesday. I'm going to tell her that it's TikTok and not TokTok, and she should know better.
Well, again, she's typing fast, man. Like, yeah, she's got to like copy that print. Like, you know, it's not, especially coming from us. It's not the easiest thing to copy our print, is it?
No,
Like,
I might have even put TokTok, and she's just copied it out.
Well, especially because we scrawled it onto paper, like, you know, creche paper with like flipping crayons, and then scanned it in, emailed it over. So, you know, but yeah, no, please do feed the head of algorithm. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and it does help the algorithm. We are growing fast. We're almost up to 500 followers now, coming up to that across our platforms. It really does help us out. We do all of this for free, basically.
We do
this is all off our own back. We don't have
I wish we didn't do it for free.
Well,
Leo.
this is the thing. We don't have bursaries. We don't have any grants. We don't have any local council
Lions
funding.
Club.
We don't have, we haven't done any fundraisers directly so far. Everything up to this point has been out of our own pocket and off our own backs, as with anyone on the Phluid team and the Phluid family. And we appreciate everyone's contribution.
We do.
We appreciate everyone that supports us. Support us in any way you can, and that's one way you can is hit that subscribe bell.
I tell you what, we might not have the sponsors, Leo, but at least we've got the listeners.
Yes, yeah, well, that is exactly the key thing, and that's why we do it. But for you guys out there and our community, we love everyone out here. We love everyone out there. Thank you so much for your support. And we are going to play out with
the Hyundai Boxing Club that Leo's never heard.
Yeah.
Night, everybody.
No.